This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
The last incident I found after class. I got out of class fairly late.
Okay.
This had to be about 6:30.
6:30.
So when I walked back in, it was just there, Roger, my roommate, and that was just standing there.
So it must have happened during the day if it was...
Yeah.
So
Well, not even during the day. It was in between. I go to class at 4, so I left
Okay.
here at about 3:45.
3:45, okay.
And then I'm in class until 6:30, so in between 3:45 and 6:30.
So it was a very small window of opportunity. It
Yes.
wasn't like, late at night, nobody's gonna see you. So, so the person who put him up, was aware that he could be caught and that, something like that could happen. That's very interesting.
So these are the faces of the people that have been affected on campus. And not many people know that yesterday we had a march. And it wasn't for the faculty to know. We kind of did it like surprised. The purpose of it is we wanted our voice to be heard personally. We was tired of the kumbayas like this one. We was tired of every person coming up to us saying, we feel you, we understand you. We were just tired of it all. We wanted our voice to be heard. And I apologize to the president for the way that things was handled yesterday. It was all of anger, it was full of emotion, and we were tired of being turned down. We felt like nothing was happening on campus besides emails and besides turned faces. The situation was not being told in class. I had 5 classes a week, and not one time we was talking about racism. And that's pretty sad. A girl got assaulted on campus for being a Latina. Like, we are not in the 50s, and it's stupid as hell. And see this? We walked by a group of white students, and they did not join us but one person. But one white student joined us yesterday. And yesterday we did not want the news to watch us because it was a real series of events. Like, we was really affected by the situation. And it's crazy that we had a lockdown and it proved our point that campus is not safe for us. So what's the purpose of saying that we are one, but you guys cannot even join us when we have a rally within ourselves besides if it was the faculty having one? So, I mean, if you guys don't want us here, that sucks because we're going to stay here.
My main thought was just kind of like, that night, honestly, I was standing in front of the door and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to tweet out to the president. Like, somebody needs to know. And then when I seen how big it started going on Twitter, Kiara came in my room and we just looked at each other and we were just like, you know what, I'm not going to stop if you don't stop. If you don't stop, I won't stop, kind of thing. So it was kind of like, let's get it out there, let's get it known, because these incidents constantly happen, but nobody ever says anything, or they're too scared to say anything because they don't know the repercussions. It was more like, okay, we're fed up at this point. We're fed up with admin, we're fed up with those who don't say anything when it happens, we're fed up with the concept of not having a safe place to say these things. And social media is a powerful thing, so to get it that known on social media was pretty darn good.
So you were the RA that was on duty for the racial incident that happened here in Newhall. Could you just tell me a little bit about what that process was like when you found out what happened?
Yes. So I was on duty and I was contacted by the person that had found the slur on her whiteboard for the first time. I went to her room, documented as I was supposed to. Public safety responded, which is of course protocol. And then that was basically it for the night. We had talked about it a little bit just to kind of debrief, and that was the end of it, and that was on a Sunday. And then it happened again on Monday when someone else was on duty, and then Tuesday was when things really got heated with the event. That was a very derogatory word was left on her door tag.
I've spoken out a lot on what's been going on. How many of you are honestly afraid to be on this campus? Raise your hands. Faculty, you can raise your hand too, because I know it ain't safe. How many of you know that white is a color in your Crayola box? Let's be for real. How many of you know your Crayola box? White is a color. Brown is a color. Black is a color. We're all the same on the inside. If I cut somebody open that does not have the same skin color as me, you are going to bleed out red. You're not going to bleed purple. You're not going to bleed out gold. That's just a proven fact. Every single one of these people on campus that have stepped out, I appreciate that you have stepped out today. I really do, and it comes from the bottom of my heart. But this should have happened a while back, but I'm glad that it happened now, because now everybody knows that this is not a joke anymore. This is something that us kids of color are going to keep on going through on this campus until something gets done. I've talked to the president, if he's heard what I had to say. We're all going to be here no matter what. So if you don't like that we're coming on your campus, and you don't like that we're getting the same education as you, I'm sorry to tell you, we are going to be the same people you see at work, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
So you're clearly very passionate about this because you have a relation to it, and it's just something to be passionate about in general. Has the campus done anything that you think has been progressive moving forward?
I definitely am happy with the turnouts of the Owls Fight Back, whenever they have blackout days, whenever they have rallies. I'd love to see more participation from the campus, because just the more people that get involved and raise awareness and just show support for these students that are so scared to be on this campus, and it's so unrightfully so. I think those are definitely taking steps in the right direction. There have been other rallies that I'm hoping are making an impact to some people. I know personally something that I've done just after the first incident started in here was the New Hall Stands Tall campaign, which was having residents come make a flyer with a positive quote on it to be hung up within the building to just try and show some support and just give some people even a little bit of hope that things will eventually turn around.
I've definitely done that before. I mean, there's times where this has happened constantly, and it's kind of like, okay, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
like, I can take it, and I'm strong enough to just walk by it.
Exactly.
Like, I'll be the big person, just walk by it. But this situation, like, my main motivation is my little sister. I have a 1-year-old little sister, and my main thought process was, okay, when she gets older and she goes through the same situation, and she asks me, okay, how did you deal with it? Who am I to say, oh, I didn't do anything, you know? Yeah. And that wouldn't make me look like a role model to her when she needs me at a kind of pinnacle point. Yeah. So it's important for me to make this stand now so that I can understand myself, I can understand the voice that I have, and then later down the line when she gets older and she asks me the question, okay, well, how did you get through this? I can be able to tell her, you know, I did this, these are the steps I took, but now I need you to realize the steps that you can take and the voice that you have, and it just makes me feel better as a person, makes me grow as a person, and then I know that I can be the role model that I really want to be when, you know, my little sister gets older.
What were your thoughts when you first heard about what was going on, and like how it personally made you feel as like somebody who is, you know, a business owner and also so very close to the campus itself?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was sorry to read about it, and I was sorry to hear that it sounds like some people did some terrible things. And I was also sorry to hear about it from being from Westfield my life and having taken some classes at Westfield State and working here downtown. To read so much about it and, you know, the ongoing coverage of it for my hometown. I wouldn't want Westfield or Westfield State for that matter to have and it doesn't necessarily just from, you know, these things not having been resolved yet, but for it to have there to be any insinuation that racism or racist acts like some of the ones that have happened on the campus are condoned or welcome or that's normal here in Westfield. Because I can't speak too much for Westfield State. I'm not there now, but a good number of the folks who have worked for us for Westfield State students and a lot of the people who work on campus and students that go to school there, faculty and administrators and teachers and people who work in the kitchen and the police department there, they come in here regularly and they've been very good to us.
I do know a lot of students on campus, just based off of the urban education department. I know a lot of students. Yeah. and then to kind of branch out to many more students that I don't even know, it's kind of like surprising as well, because you don't know these faces. These aren't familiar faces when they're walking up to you and they're talking to you, and it seems as though they know you, but you don't know them. But I like that feeling because, okay, now you know a piece of me, and you know my character, and because of everything, I may not know you, but now we can get to know each other, so we can stand together and fight back on these issues. I mean, we even had the girls from downstairs, they put up signs all over Ely, the signs all over New Home, and we just met them that day as they were putting them up, and I'm like, who told you guys to do this? And she's like, oh, we just wanted to do it on our own. So it's kind of like, wow, that type of support that we get from the students makes it 10 times better.
This land was made for you and me.